I usually only speak about what I consider to be the most important trend lines, which was quite easy when we were discussing an ascending triangle a few weeks ago. Now there's plenty of different things people are looking at, so we're going to discuss a top 3 in no particular order, as I see it, that are the most important trend lines in Bitcoin. Should I be discussing alts instead today though? Well, it's hard to say. I'd say no if there's a big move coming for Bitcoin, and I'm going to present to you some evidence why there might be. But having said that, there might be a good case for why Bitcoin dominance has been breaking down since around September. Seeing how Bitcoin analysis can inform your decisions, I think it's more time effective to analyze Bitcoin right now. Plus, chances are too high at getting it wrong. There were so many people very bullish on Ethereum and XRP by what the charts were saying didn't really pan out. So don't expect alt analysis from me until at least the next bull run. But first up, bull flag. Seems like a classic example of it. You've got your pole here, flag here, which should make all of us very happy, indicative of a strong upward movement, then period of consolidation before hopefully again. Hence the name bull flag. Tends to happen more often than not, which of course isn't financial advice, but if so, would reach the top of this pattern at least, which is the high 13,000s, if not much higher. There are, however, some critics of this charting pattern. It is important to mention that this time frame is on the 1 week frame, meaning it is ridiculously large. If we go from the start to the end, we are looking at 140 days, about 4.5 months that this pattern has been going on for. Is that important? I don't think it is per se, but under usual circumstances, if you have an asset that is going in a downward momentum for 4.5 months, begs the question, is this not just a bear market despite your bullish chart pattern? At what point does a ridiculously large bullish chart pattern like this become exhausted into irrelevancy, becoming more of a meme than a real indicator? In my opinion, my non-financial advice opinion, that is, no, not yet. It's not like Bitcoin hasn't been perfectly chartable previously on huge timeframes. For example, the descending triangle we were all looking at about 6 or 7 weeks ago, that lasted for around 3.5 months before coming to its conclusion. Or I'll do you one better. This descending triangle beginning end of April, resolving November 12th, 196 days, a bearish indicator proving to be true that took over half a year to complete. So despite it taking so long, 140 days and counting, may not be a weakness and still might be very well relevant. Moving on. Next chart. 200-day EMA. That is this orange line, considered to be one of the simplest indicators out there of a bull or bear market momentum. We crashed down to it in September, saw it turn into resistance on at least 3 occasions, maybe 4, before eventually breaking down further. Very bleak situation. China and the overwhelming shorts getting squeezed by the subsequent influx of fiat money led to a glorious candle, which saw us get a new chance on reversing that momentum. Not quite done enough so far. You can see the downward momentum still very much intact. In fact, going through that line as we speak, low volume across the board. Now to showcase why I think a big move might be on the cards, or maybe more aptly described as being on the razor's edge of one. This old trend line, beginning of the bull market, early this year. We eventually had a return to it, and the market did react to it by smashing through it. We are close once more. I don't even know what to call this pattern. A confluence of congruence, if I'm feeling silly. The point is, this is a key level. Are we now going to resume the momentum that we built up earlier this year? Are we going to continue the bullish momentum leading up to and in anticipation of the next Bitcoin halving? Or for some reason, are we going to break down again and enter bear market territory if we already haven't? And that is despite having corrected from peak to peak almost 50% already. So how are we still in this position? These lines can be a little bit frustrating.
Where'd you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I don't see a technical reason why we should go into bear market territory. Not that we won't, not that we aren't, but I don't see a reason for it per se. But technicals don't rule everything. Let's have a look at the news. World's largest army could be rewarded in crypto soon. A few weeks after Chinese President Xi Jinping praised blockchain, a local military newspaper hinted that Chinese soldiers could be rewarded in crypto for their loyalty and good performance. Assuming that this is correct, this is absolutely huge. The People's Liberation Army of China is the second largest employer of people on Earth at 2.3 million in 2015, second only to the United States Department of Defense at 3.2 million. So this actually makes all the sense in the world. If the government is creating their own state-backed cryptocurrency, then the largest workforce that the government has is its military. If we needed any more confirmation of their seriousness, then this is it. They of course aren't getting paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum, that would be amazing, but in their state-backed cryptocurrency. But it's still very cool because if they're getting paid in it, then they need the infrastructure to use it, which needs to be built if it's not already there, and it gets millions more people using crypto, even it being an abomination of such. Check this video if you want to see more on that. I still see this as a win for the respect of this entire space. If there was ever a situation where I was going to use this meme...
So basically, what I was thinking of was, oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
This would be that time. Bakkt plans to roll out cash-settled Bitcoin futures contracts. Launching right before the end of the year, mind you. What a treacherous blow to the junk this is. And I say that specifically because Bakkt used the crypto community, used crypto outlets to spread awareness, positivity, by sheer fact that Bakkt was going to be physical-only delivery, being a first of its kind. Not anymore. This is a bait and switch they've likely been planning from the beginning. Thank goodness their volume is low. Let's land on a light-hearted note. The man who gets coverage on this channel solely for his comedic value is back at it again. Or rather was. This time 1 year ago, Dr. Craig S. Wright gave us a warning, or in his words, a responsible disclosure on Bitcoin and Litecoin that Segwit introduced a flaw which will be released a year from now, and that the coins would subsequently die this day, 15th of November 2019. We can just chalk this one up to yet another thing Craig cannot do, which someone made a handy list of actually. CSW cannot write code without copy-pasting it, write original papers, stick to any deadline he sets himself, prove that he's Satoshi, or really prove any of his claims, fool judges, and what has to be a low blow for Craig, win lawsuits. And in another low blow, please a woman. Almost feel sorry for the man, but he wouldn't get this abuse if he didn't ask for it. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you again soon.
Z Hartnett, thank you for the $5. Hey, Doc, any advice for a 24-year-old who has no idea what he wants to do with his life? Yes. Find out what you want to do with your life.